Side hitter from Israel. One last ticket to be punched here in Columbus, Ohio to the semifinals, and we're off. Ramblers win them. Oh, White's knocking that down early. And then a knock across far, and both teams playing fast pace right now. Hard hit to the ground, but gonna go out of bounds with a strike from Fabakovic.
Striking there early, gotta be careful, and Parker Van Buren set everything up, but a little bit too much sauce.
Faber back to serve again. Pepperdine up, scores for the first point. That one, straight shot. Set up, swatted down after the block. Ramblers gonna get that point though, courtesy of Parker Van Buren.
Parker Van Buren leads the team with kills. That is his 421st kill of the season.
Van Buren, the ABCA All-American first team outside hitter. Senior from Cross Plains, Wisconsin. He's gonna serve this one up as well. Fielded cleanly by Pepperdine. Keeps it alive somehow. Reed has to get it over. Knocked up, going the other way, hit by Hartke, out of bounds. Ramblers get another.
A good little back and forth to start, but a good bounce back, I think, for Loyola Chicago. After giving over that longer touch, they go back-to-back points.
Cole Hartke, the MPSF Freshman of the Year. 2-1 Ramblers lead after a nice hit in the middle. See what the Ramblers do with this. Pepperdine's able to return. Diving effort there from Riley. And point gonna go to the Ramblers.
D. Meyer there just fires one straight down the net. And that guy's a 6'10 senior. What better piece of physicality?
Meyer, Almeva first team. 7'2" wingspan, Luke. Ramblers up two. Nice swat. Kept alive by Sawa. And then knocked out of bounds on the other side by Van Buren.
I think patience is going to be important for Pepperdine, only averaging about 1.9 blocks. Right now, that's 41st in NCAA.
Back to serve at the line, sophomore middle blocker Ethan Watson from Sunnyvale, California. He knocks that one over cleanly. Set up, swatted opposite side, gets blocked, still in Loyola Chicago zone. There's another hit from Fabakovic that time. That one lands.
There's a reason Fabakovic was a lot shown in the highlight video. He's got one of the best screams after a point.
Fabakovic, the ABCA All-American second team, also made Almeva first team. You'll notice a common theme for both of these squads in terms of the teams that they've made. That one barely bounces over from a serve from Dean Meyer. On the other way, hard hit by Hartke, kept alive. And that one floated over for a lot less speed, but gets the job done by Van Buren.
Fabakovic really started that off. Without that reception in the back line, that play wouldn't have been possible.
Ramblers 25-3 this season, 13-3 in conference play. Nice set, opposite corner down on the same side, that time by Ryan Barnett.
I think the Waves really needed a point here. We're starting to trail a little bit further behind. As we've seen today, you drop down 3 or 4 points. That can honestly be a danger zone that can make you not recoverable.
Most certainly could. Quick stoppage, but we're back to action now. The setter, Gabe Dyer, up to serve, the UC San Diego transfer. Here's a set to Fabakovic, and that one gets down for a kill too.
This team just has a wealth of talent, and you thought 400 was a lot. Well, they spread the wealth well. That's over 300 kills now for Fabakovic on the season.
Fabakovic, been fabulous all season and in this match so far. Ramblers up by 3. Here's a serve from Van Buren. That one knocked up high in the air. Attacking the other way, and a kill that time from James Eady.
AJ Soa, a nice little setup though. Opportunity on the assistance.
We'll see Ryan Barnett Have a service line junior outside hitter from West Hampton Beach, New York. That one fails to clear the net, so point goes to the Ramblers.
Real big control here, and I like the mentality from Loyola Chicago very early.
Sophomore outside hitter from Newport Beach, California, Jake Reed with the serve. That one knocked down, and what a striking kill by Haver.
Speed.
One word right there, and yeah, how can you react to that? That's just such a quick swing. Here's Edie. That one just carried over, and another point for the Ramblers. Some trickery.
I really like this play selection early, and the Ramblers are going to go with a no libero set here.
No libero set early on. Brad Bell with a serve for the Ramblers. Knocking it down the far side and blocked down after a swing from McElligott.
Just met Haver and Graves up in the air, and that's a tough duo to battle against. Graves is 6'4".
McElligott faced a seawall on that one. Here's Cole Hartke to serve. Freshman outside hitter from Barrington, Illinois. Swung on by Fabikovich, still kept alive on the wave side. A nice block, but doesn't get through all the way. Ryan Barnett.
Both Haver and Barnett kind of went up for this one. Really glad that they were able to grab that, or that could have been a reversal point.
Both of these teams neck and neck right now. Ramblers up one against the Waves, but feels like it's been pretty steady from both sides. Here's Hartke again. Top three in the MPSF in kills and points per set. That one knocked down and over, and going to be an ace for the true freshman.
Talk about a way to bring it back. Just points on top of points on top of points. Pepperdine has equalized this thing.
Pepperdine in the MPSF tournament had to beat Grand Canyon, UCLA, and USC to get to this point. That's going to be a service error, so an ace and an error gives Ramblers the lead.
And they did all that, only dropping 3 sets across those 3 games.
Incredible stuff, and what a great season for Jonathan Winder. His 3rd season at the helm. That's going to be a service error on Loyola's side. Haver gonna be at the line for the Waves. Already with the kill. Here's a set from McElligott, knocked down and off the hands of the Wave player, Dean Meyer with the kill.
Warriors haven't made the tournament since 2015. This is a great opportunity to show their value and go for another natty.
Here's Fabikovich again. 2 kills already for the Ramblers. That one knocked down and smoked out of bounds. Another point for Loyola Chicago.
They're just playing some smart volleyball. It seems like they're really in their groove here, and it's maybe because they play here during the regular season a lot.
Certainly must help. Able to sweep the Buckeyes this year as well. Here's the set from Dyer, knocked over, kept alive by Fabikovich. On the other way is Reed, and that one trickles out of bounds. Another point for the Ramblers. That's going to cause Pepperdine to burn the first timeout of this match. Ramblers lead 12-9 here on ESPN+. Ramblers are rolling early. Had to make Pepperdine burn their first timeout, up 3 in this first set. Sophomore outside hitter Daniel Fabikovich from Briklov, Czech Republic, won on that serve, and then pounding smack to the ground by Ryan Barnett.
These teams did play earlier on in the year. The game went all 5 sets, but that's been over 3 months ago. They played on 130.
Loyola Chicago taking that one. That one just floats over the head of Sawa, so gonna be a service error.
And because they're in those two different conferences, all-time record, they've only played 5 times, but Loyola Chicago also leads that with a 3-2 mark.
Senior middle blocker Diemmeyer from Franklin, Wisconsin up to serve. He's gonna service that one out of bounds. 2-point game.
And actually, Deem was #1 in blocks per set in the MIVA, both in 24 and 23.
That one gets floated over by Dyer. Set up, smack to the ground, and a kill for Parker Van Buren.
There's a reason he leads the team in kills and leads this match now in kills.
Already 5 different Ramblers with kills. 14-11, Loyola Chicago up. Here comes Van Buren. Set up by Dyer. Smacked across, blocked though. Here's a setup from Sawa now. On the other way is Van Buren, and that's going to be another point for the Ramblers.
Really good job to dagger this one off a hand, and you'll notice the ball just like spinning out of control off of that touch off the line, and well, the Ramblers are up by 4.
Ramblers trying to keep their distance from the Waves in this opening set. There's Van Buren again. AVCA All-American first team. Hit across by Hartke, but Ramblers gonna get it again after the block.
Jake Reed involved in that, and he is a young sophomore that they have built so much on the shoulders off of.
Reed playing against a school and where he was born in the state of California. There's Van Buren again. Back-to-back MIVA Player of the Year. We'll dig that one out. Jake Reed with the tap. Set up and a hit to the ground, kill for Ryan Barnett.
It's a good little bouncer, but I think what I noticed about that play, JJ Sawa, he was able to direct traffic. A fake clap almost caused a disruption on the other side.
Barnett, AVCA All-American. Gonna have a service error there, so gives the ball back to Loyola Chicago and a point.
They expand their lead back to 5, and if you're Pepperdine, if you lose 1 or 2 more of these points, you could be burning another timeout.
Jake Reed with the serve. Set up by Dyer for Pepperdine. Hit off the face, kept alive though. Sawa knocks it up, and a hit by Fabikovic for the kill.
The good old 328 combo, and it's going to force a timeout.
Momentum rolling here for the Ramblers in the Cavelli Center. We're going to have another timeout, and we'll be right back. Although it's in their name in Pepperdine, Loyola Chicago, the one peppering around a lot of kills. Here's Jake Reed. See if he can get another. Set up cleanly, hit over, 3-man block, keeps the ball on the Wave side.
Out of the timeout of your opponent again. The Ramblers have just been able to set up huge control, and that 3-man block is often so tough to get through, and you target the mid guy.
It's a 6'4" Reed with the serve. Set up by Dyer, hit across by Barnett. Goes out of bounds, and another Rambler point.
That block is just something of beauty to watch. Another perfect setup. Blurs are first to 20.
Ramblers moving in a blur. That one going to be a service error by Jake Reed.
Still 2 timeouts though for the Ramblers.
Few substitutions coming for Pepperdine. Aiden Toon checking into the game, sophomore outside hitter from Honolulu, Hawaii. A lot of representation from Hawaii, not just from the Rainbow Warriors earlier today, but also on other teams as well. There's a fight for it at the net, but it's going to go in Pepperdine's favor.
We'll say last off a Rambler. A 2-point streak here for Pepperdine. It's exactly what the doctor ordered.
8-2. At it again. Right-handed swing from him. Set up by McElligott. Hit across by Van Buren. Skies backwards into the stands for a kill.
Well, Chicago has opened up very early the scoreline, and they have never let up. The danger zone, as we said, is around 5 points. Loyola have really kept a 6 or 7 lead all throughout this set.
Well, Luke, another important thing to note, Pepperdine doesn't have any timeouts. Loyola has both. Loyola Chicago 4 points away from 25. Serve is up for Lucas Anderson. He's going to get a service error on that one.
And interestingly enough, for Pepperdine, they've been unlucky in the Midwest. Since 1992, they have not won a first-round matchup at the NCAA tournament located in the Midwest.
Well, Luke, there are fewer waves in the Midwest. Matt Mazur checks into the game for the Waves. We're going to see Cole Hartke back to serve. That one fails to clear the net, gives another point to Loyola Chicago.
Pretty even on service errors. Pepperdine, that's their 5th one of this set, but it's just points you can't be giving away to such a great MIFA team.
Former MPSF all-freshman team Ryan Graves checks into the game for Pepperdine. McElligott the one to serve for the Ramblers. That one deep. Now knocks closer, over the wall. That one skies into the air. Hits the cameras, tries to keep it alive, is Jake Reed, but it's going to be a point for the Waves.
Putting the body on the line, not only the players, but everybody here in attendance as well.
Shout out to the camera crew. They got out of the way really quick. I'm sure you and I would also try to in that scenario. Haver back to serve for Pepperdine. Nice angle on that, but it's going to get hit hard back to him. Jake Reed. It's going to keep it alive, though. Hard hits everywhere. Finally finds the right spot is Van Buren, and the Ramblers got 23.
Jake Reed thought that point was done. Somehow the Waves kept it alive, but man, Van Buren just put him to sleep.
This Loyola Chicago squad is playing with so much energy, and they got the momentum behind them now in this first set. Hard hit by Fabikovic, still set up and knocked. Ball gets right back to Barnett, still kept alive on Loyola Chicago's side now. That one blocked back the other way. Here's Jake Reed getting it over the wall. That one going out of bounds on the attack error.
This is a huge stretch of points right now from the Ramblers, where not only can you shut out this set 1, but this could be a momentum builder to set 2.
Certainly could be. Pepperdine needs to score a lot more than the Ramblers to take set number 1, but it could start right now with senior libero Brendan Reed. Newport Beach, California. Hits that to the side, gonna be a service error, and we got a set point in set 1.
6 of them. Service errors here for the Waves overall in this set. Again, it's just something that everybody's dealt with all day today.
So Sawa coming out for Loyola Chicago. Jackson Reed, the graduate outside here from San Diego, California. USC transfer. Has the chance to put set number 1 away. Here he is with the serve. That's going to be a service error, so the set stays alive.
Only 5th service error of the set, but Loyola Chicago is hitting at a 3.60 right now.
Deadly accurate. Pepperdine on the other side, 125. Here's the hit, set up, smacked down over the wall, kept alive by Riley. Now the other way, too hard on the hit from Mazur. Loyola Chicago gonna take set number 1 over the Waves.
A beautiful show of offense as they just come out swinging. I think the errors didn't really help overall for Pepperdine. And, you know, talk about putting your body on the line. Jake Reed there on the final play eats a whole mouthful of the post.
Winner will play Long Beach State. We'll be right back for set number 2 here on ESPN+. We're here for set number 2. Winner takes on number 1 Long Beach State and advances in this tournament. Loyola Chicago strikes first with a 1-0 lead.
There's got to be an answer here for Pepperdine. You can't just let that one set float. You need to drown it out. You need to equalize things right here. Loyola Chicago is a team that is really known for sweeping after they get the opener.
Once the Ramblers grab a hold of a set, they seem to run away with it. You're absolutely right, Luke.
I mean, on the course of the season, they're plus 55, now plus 56 in set margin.
Not many teams better in that respect. Here's Ryan McElligott to serve first for set number 2. Set up by Dyer, hit across by Barnett, and he's gonna get a kill to strike first.
Kind of bounced off a hand there on the line, and I think Pepperdine is gonna be needing to attack those blockers throughout this set if they want the victory.
Barnett, one of Pepperdine's star players, gets the service error there.
I'll say Pepperdine might have brought the most neon shoes out of any team today.
They're bright, and as the sun sets here in Columbus, Ohio, at least we have some shoes to give us some light. Here's Daniel Fabakovic with the serve. That one low diving effort by Riley. Kept alive though. Back to Pepperdine's side. Swing by Barnett. There we go, going the other way. Knocks off of 2 wave defenders and gets the point for Loyola Chicago.
Another little off the hand touch there. This is where Pepperdine, I think, has to keep the set close rather than it running away from them.
2-1, Ramblers with the serve and the lead. Fabakovic with the serve, another diving effort by Riley. Hit hard past the line, gonna be touched. Pepperdine evens it out.
Keeping things close is just as important as getting just a couple of hits. I mean, you're talking about Pepperdine only hitting at a 107 right now.
Gotta get that up if you want to beat the MIVA champs. Hit across down and out of bounds. That time was from Jake Reed on the attack error.
That was so close to being just a highlight reel play, though. A little touchdown, a little tempo change, testing the waters for what could be a later play style.
It looks like there's going to be a timeout, or challenge this time, not a timeout. That'd be an early timeout, but gonna challenge if that stayed in. Again, the hit was from Jake Reed.
It was very close. I mean, even from our angle, we were questioning it just a little bit. And this is a big point. I mean, you could say early on.
Gonna favor Loyola Chicago this time, so kept in, and Jake Reed gonna be credited with the kill.
It's as close get there, and they call it landing in.
Haver right there. Here's Dean Meyer again. Puts that one to the middle, set up, bounce down off of a deflection. Ethan Watson gets a kill.
Ethan Watson, you talk about last year, was an MPSF Freshman of the Year, and he's just got that change-up tempo power to hit super quick.
We're going to see Cole Hartke now at the line. He had double-digit kills in all 12 of his conference matches this season. That one goes over after one hit, knocked to the ground, and the Waves picking up steam with Watson.
Watson goes back-to-back, and you talk about for a redshirt sophomore guy with so many years left, that is a huge show of leadership.
Hartke back once more. So Gallagher going down to the ground, and that's going to be a kill for the Ramblers.
Brad Bell's just a mad lad, and this is a crazy little touch-up play that Loyola Chicago has worked on all season long with another quick tap changeup.
Perfectly drawn up. Parker Van Buren. 4.7 kills in conference play this year. Gonna get the service error there.
Probably the easiest ball for the ref to call, and it lands at his feet.
Haver with the ball. And the serve set up cleanly. Hit across by Bell that time. And knocked down with two hands was Barnett, but it's going to go out of bounds. Didn't have the control on that.
Kind of chatting to the coaching staff for the Waves to see if they wanted a challenge. It was a nice idea, but too far out left. Not enough for a challenge.
Jonathan Winder in his third season at the helm for Pepperdine. Here's a set from Dyer. Somehow the Hartke hit gets past the three defenders for a kill.
I love how you mentioned the coaching staff because it's a young one for Pepperdine. They've got Matthew Pollock, who's in his first season, but played with the U.S. national team back in 2018.
Winder won the national championship with the Waves in 2005 and was a player of the year in 2007. Rich history for the Waves. That one gets knocked down that time by Brad Bell.
And you talk about a coaching staff on the other side with someone like Kylie Exeline, who is a three-year captain at Loyola Chicago from 2008 to 2011.
Ramblers with the serve. Knocked up by Barnett. And the set goes back to Barnett. There's a kill for him. Make it number 6.
It's a really solid entry set number 2 after not even reaching 20 points in that first set. The Waves are fighting.
You can see it right there too. Haver for Pepperdine, fired up by the crowd behind him. Serve for the Waves now. They got the lead. Struck down hard. Dyer keeps it alive on the other side, but too much sauce goes out of bounds.
A rare little bounce off. But that's what happens when you've got a Rambler crew that literally have an artillery of power on their side.
McGilligan with the serve, Almeva first team. That one goes out of bounds for a service error.
Limited the service errors until now. Both teams have been a little bit reserved on them.
Both teams currently with 7 service errors. Barnett with the serve, goes to the far line. Knocked down again. See if Loyola Chicago tries to set something up to slow it down. Blocked their way once more. Swing down in the corner, not able to paint it, and that's going to be an attack error.
Patience, patience from this Waves defense is now that they lead by 2, I want to see how far ahead they can get.
Barnett with 6 kills thus far. 6 points. Here's the set from McGilligan. Goes over. Closer to the middle now. Now over to the right. Kept alive. Good rally going, but finding the soft spot that time was Van Buren.
Both of these two teams' attacks have improved in this set specifically. We talked about a Pepperdine team that was at one point hitting at 108. They're now up to a .200. On the other side, Loyola Chicago is still hitting at a 371.
Tough to lose when you're at a hitting clip like that. And the other way kept alive. It's a hit from Jake Reed. Gets it over to Riley. Dyer to Barnett. Kept alive. Sawa knocks it over. Battle at the net, won by the Ramblers and Parker Van Buren.
And you could even say, lost. They just give it up. Say you want to bounce it out of bounds? Bounce it out of bounds. Be my guest.
Babakovic at the line. And Van Buren, 10 kills already for the Ramblers in this one. Babakovic with 3. Here's Barnett, diving effort by Sawa. And another chance, goes out of bounds. Ramblers get another point.
Been a trend here for Pepperdine to bite off a little bit more than they can chew, getting a little bit more fancy than just playing it towards center.
Don't want to get too aggressive this early on. Don't want to play too passive either. Babakovic launches it. Dyer over to Haver, and that's going to be a kill.
And that'll juice them up, and it should. Pepperdine really didn't find success against the defense in that last set. This time they have.
We got 10s. James Eady with the serve. Hit down by Van Buren. Gonna be another kill for him.
Van Buren has just really found a groove, and by the way, he is now over 500 points on the season.
I might be crazy, but that sounds really good, Luke. Meyer gets the ace. You saw the dive from Watson, but not able to get it up.
And Loyola Chicago, in these weird ruts where they lose a couple points in a row, have just found ways to make something out of nothing.
Ramblers have been hanging on, though. Hit to the far corner, foot race to the near side one. Knocked over by Bell. Set up, hit by Barnett, and he's gonna get a kill, his 7th of the game.
Barnett's been solid too, and I think the biggest thing now, Pepperdine needs to spread the wealth. You need to make sure you're getting everybody involved.
Cole Hart, guy you want on the line right now with the game this tight. One of the 5 freshmen of the year from the school. He's gonna get an error on that.
Call it maybe a net touch or something, but they'll give over the service ace.
So 13-11, Loyola Chicago up. Parker Van Buren with the serve now for the Ramblers. It's a swing from Watson, it's gonna be a kill.
I love that from Watson. I think not going on 3, shooting before they expect your shot is always a good move.
Watson, one of the taller guys on this Pepperdine squad. Haver with the serve, trying to even it out. Set from McGilligan. Hit over, but the seawall is too strong.
Another good defensive play, and it just goes to show why this Waves team is a conference champion, just so well-rounded in everything they do.
You have to be to beat the 2 teams down in Southern California. There gets the serve off cleanly. Swat back the next way is Babakovic, but gonna go out of bounds.
And I gotta say, nothing compares to the Fort Valley State bench, but the Waves are bringing in some jumpies too.
It's like there's going to be a challenge here on the court. Pepperdine up 14-13 as of right now.
It's been a lot closer of a set 2 here, and both teams are fighting. I do think it's very important that the obvious statement, Pepperdine needs to win this set. This is not a set where you can give up and then say, okay, we're gonna go 3 straight against the MIVA champions. You really feel like you need to equalize here, or this could be an early end of your day.
Point gonna go to the Waves. Wind blowing in their direction.
Good to see it again here on the long range. Looked to be just barely out of bounds.
Looks like it. And the wind blowing the waves perhaps to a beach maybe. Still a long way to go. To serve from Javert. That's across diving is Hartke, and Ramblers get back on track.
I do think although Hartke wasn't able to save it, I mean, he is such a talent. I mean, you talk about a freshman that is going to have a very bright future.
14 all. Towel crew on the scene. And Luke, I'm going to circle back a little bit too, but Fort Valley State, man, that bench might have been an all-timer. It's tough to live up to those expectations. Jake Reed with the serve. Set by Dyer, hit by Barnett, opposite side. Diving there was Fabakovic, but looks like it touched him. We're gonna have a media timeout here in set number 2. So tight here in Columbus, Ohio. Waves lead the Ramblers 15-14. We're back from this brief timeout, and Pepperdine up 1 against Loyola Chicago.
Both teams with 2 timeouts still as well.
Both coaches want to use them wisely. Tightly contested game. In tune with the serve, gonna be an error.
Will be the 9th service error of the game for Pepperdine.
Both teams close to double digits in that category. Here's a serve from Anderson. Hit by Barnett, kept alive. Slide to the opposite side, flying into the stands, goes out of bounds. Going to be a point for Loyola Chicago.
They've really worked their blockers well, and even if they haven't been successful on the charge down, it's always their backline that is recovered after the initial touch.
We'll see Anderson again. One point separates these two squads. Here's a hard hit, blocked down that time by Meyer and Fabakovic, but goes out of bounds.
Hartke happy about that one. Gives off a scream.
Gabe Dyer's gonna serve. All MPSF honorable mention team. Nice fake there by McElligott for the kill.
Switch ups, man. I mean, Loyola Chicago has been going early and catching the Waves off guard before they can set themselves in.
We'll get McElligott to the line after his kill. All MIVA first team this season. Here's a serve, bounced up by Riley. Set up, floated across. Able to block that back. Now a hit from Hartke. Goes over to Fabakovic. Set again. Fabakovic with a hit. Hartke falls to the ground. It's his ankles kill for the Czechia native.
I mean, that's a guy that both his parents played in the Czech Professional Volleyball League, and it is just in his genes.
Pepperdine gonna use the first timeout in set number 2. Ramblers got the 2-point advantage over them. We'll be right back on ESPN Plus. We got a tight one in the last game of NCAA quarterfinals. Ramblers up 2 in set number 2 over the Waves. McElligott back to serve, and he's gonna have an error.
Out of a Pepperdine timeout, you kind of get to ice the server, I guess.
Not only that, but you get to talk over strategy too, so win-win in that scenario for Jonathan Winder's squad. Here's a set, knocked across off the chest of Barnett. Barnett coming back at him. Gonna go to Loyola Chicago though. Nobody touched the ball.
And Sal was hyped about that one. Says, no good, no thanks. Our defense knows better than to touch that.
Outside hitter, Fabakovic once more. That one low. Nice slide. Hit it across, bounce back, out of bounds though.
Staying in it. That's all that matters right now. Loyola Chicago, you'd love to burn their timeouts if you can, if you're Pepperdine here, but just staying in the set is all you can do. You do not want to drop down in an 0-2 fashion.
You certainly don't want to. Brendan Reed going to be serving now. Here's a set, fake swing, bounced back, bench clearing. No one's able to get a hand on that. Ramblers get to 20.
And this is a beautiful little chip play that goes 1-2 off the fake, and it's right down the mids. You have such an angle to really aim wherever you want.
Jackson Reed checking into the game, the USC transfer. The righty swing, service error for him.
That's the third read that's played in our game here today.
We're reading a lot of reads. It's a Reed Bowl. Cole Hartke gonna be at the line for Pepperdine. That one fails to clear the net.
That's gonna be Pepperdine, the first team to double-digit service errors here across the game today.
Certainly not a stat that you want to lead in. Senior outside hitter, Parker Van Buren. Leads his team with 13 kills today. That one fails to clear the net, so we got service error on one side, service error on the other.
Back and forth, the pendulum of service errors, nobody can survive.
Dyer checking out, Mazur coming in for Pepperdine. Here's Haver. Toss and swing. That one doesn't clear the net either. We got a service error streak.
What now, 4 in a row?
22-20. Ramblers with the advantage. Not only that, but Jake Reed with the serve. Hit across by Barnett. On the back line, now out of play. Barnett with another kill.
It's a really close one to the bitter end. The Ramblers, though, those 2 timeouts are the aces up their sleeve right now.
Ramblers still with 2. Waves still have 1. So we get closer and closer to point number 25 in the second set. Ethan Watson up with the serve. That gets across, and diving out of the way is Jake Reed, and service there goes to Watson.
Love the aerial motion, goes up, fakes for it, and then just drops himself down. How many service errors did you want? Yes.
23-21 now. That serve gets over by Bell. Swatted across and off of the hands of Meyer. So 23-22, Ramblers lead. We haven't seen it go to extras a whole lot today. There's a chance here. Here's a hit, but blocked down that time by Barnett and Edie. Waves are fired up. Ramblers gonna call their first time out of the set. We got 23-23 here in the Cavelli Center. One team has to prevail. We got a tied second set, 23-23. Something's gotta give. We'll see where it starts. Gabe Dyer with the serve. Hit across and off of the hands of Riley. Loyola Chicago gets the point.
A beautiful back and forth, and just the take of the lead, they've got a chance to close it.
Set point for Loyola Chicago. Waves got to get a point on this. They want to keep this set alive. Saw bodies flying everywhere. Miscommunication. Stays up somehow. Nice play, but it's going to go to Pepperdine.
We're going to win by 2. You talk about the swing of momentum. McGilligan just hit 1,000 assists this season, and then Pepperdine brings it right back to 24-24.
It might have been his most important assist of the season there, Luke, because that kept Pepperdine alive. We saw bodies flying everywhere on the court. Had to mop up some of that sweat. And there's going to be a challenge coming from Loyola Chicago's side.
This is a challenge to win the set, and it's a quick one.
Well, and that was quick. Pepperdine has the point still. Whistle's already blown.
It was the quickest challenge we've had today, and I mean, maybe just trying to disguise it as a timeout, get a quick chat with the team.
Might have been. You can see Shane Davis talking at the scorer's table. Nevertheless, got Ryan Barnett at the service line, fails to clear it, so Loyola Chicago just needs one more to win the set.
That's a tough way to give them the set point. Another service error, the 13th of the day for the Waves.
Daniel Fabikovic at the service line for Loyola Chicago. 5 kills today. Set up by Dyer, swatted across, blocked back, still in the air on Pepperdine's side. Got to get it over. Here's Hartke over the wall, going to stay alive on Loyola Chicago's side now. That goes off the hands of Riley. Still alive. Got to get the ball over. They do. The set, the swing kept on the Ramblers' side. Bodies collide. There's another swing. Still alive. We got a rally. Now a hit from there. Goes out of bounds. The Waves are going to tie it.
Havers sent that one to the moon with some rockets. Still win by 2. No more set point for the Ramblers.
You gotta love the energy that both of these teams have brought to this tournament. They know what's at stake. It's anyone's ball game once more of James Eady serving for Pepperdine. Here's the set and the attack, kept alive somehow by Dyer. Going the other way is Hartke with the attack error.
Went for the back right corner and just couldn't find the sauce.
And that was one of the quickest challenges I have ever seen. Jonathan Winder pulling out the green card, and why not? I mean, it looked like for a second there Hartke's swing and kill was in bounds.
It was close. I think from our angle, of course, we've got a pole in the way, so it's a little bit tougher to see. So they'll have to examine the angles, but I mean, this is the best time rather than any to challenge.
You know, for my old high school, I used to have a giant light pole right in the way of where I saw, so seeing this, certainly a lot better for sure, Luke.
We're in a good spot. I know we've said it a lot today, but got to appreciate all the people that have brought us out, the NCAA for coordinating all of this, and of course our crew that's been working from sun up here in Columbus all the way till sundown.
So many moving parts as well, so like Luke said, just a special thank you to this ESPN Plus crew and everyone who's came out in this environment and everyone watching at home throughout the day. It's been a lot of great volleyball. So much more left to be played. Point goes to the Ramblers, so Pepperdine fails with that challenge.
Get a second look at it as there's the triple blockers and just barely arcs over the fingers there.
Ramblers in the driving seat once more in this set, 26-25 with the ball in the hands of Dean Meyer. Goes to the back line. Here's a setup. Hartke to the ground, skied up in the air, goes over the scorer's table into the bench. Wave's still alive.
How long will it go? And at this point, it's just who wants it more.
Like you've said already so many times in this set number 2, Luke, Pepperdine needs to win this set. Hartke with the serve. That one bounces off the net into the Rambler zone. Knocked down, blocked by Hay there, and Pepperdine up 1. There's going to be a timeout called by Loyola Chicago. They used their last one this set, and Pepperdine with the lead 27-26, 1 away from winning set number 2. Crazy train playing in Machiavelli, and I'm not sure if there's a better way to sum up what we've seen in set number 2. Set point for the Pepperdine Waves. Cole Hartke, their standout freshman, back to serve. Kept alive, still on Loyola Chicago's side. Point goes to Pepperdine, and they bring the tsunami to take set number 2.
A forced error from Loyola Chicago, and Pepperdine are still fighting, still dancing, and equal up the set points.
Something's got to give here in Columbus, Ohio. Pepperdine tied now, and what a way to end that second set. We got so much more volleyball here between the Ramblers and the Waves, but we'll be back for set number 3 momentarily on ESPN+. Match is tied 1-1 between the 5-seeded Pepperdine Waves and the 4-seeded Loyola Chicago Ramblers. We got a good one here in Machiavelli.
The good news for Loyola Chicago, they're going back to the most successful side of our tournament here today. The right side of the court is 9-3 so far.
Numbers would say that it would favor Loyola Chicago this set. But Luke, then again, if they win that one, then Pepperdine switches, and
we're going
then
to 5.
Who knows? Very well may go to 5. Ryan Barnett's going to serve on the left side. Start off set number 3. Set up, knocked down, out of bounds. Service error by Reese.
An interesting step up here, and I think the good thing that Pepperdine showed in that last set is they can play close range sets. They can stay within very close in the scoreline.
Both teams so locked in, coming back from deficits and working their way back. It's a set from Miguel, gets spiked down by Meyer.
McGilligan's just been a beast on that front line, and over again sets up the team. He's already had 1,000 assists. What more do you want from the guy?
It's going to say the now quadruple digit assist man, McGilligan. Swung down, blocked, but gonna go to Pepperdine as that ball did not stay in bounds.
That second set was a lot different of a choice for the Loyola Chicago defense, as they were challenged a lot.
James Eady at the service line. That one doesn't clear the net, and the woes of the servicers continue for Pepperdine.
That's only his first on the day today, and you know, as much as the kills have been spread around, the service errors seem to be spread around as well.
Dean Meyer with a nice headband. Serves that one, floats over, kept alive. There's Meyer. Knocks it to Van Buren. Still skied high, blocked by Van Buren. Kept on the Waves side. Here's the hit from Hartke, and he's gonna get the kill.
Beautifully done over and over, targeting the back line. Loyola Chicago have gone a little bit softer towards the back line defense.
Cole Hartke up to his 6th kill today. It's good for 2nd on his team, only trailing Barnett, who has 9. Cole Hartke with the serve, and really weird angle there as Hartke gets an ace.
And he locks eyes with the Wave faithful that have traveled out to cheer on this team.
Great representation from Chicago and Malibu. Hartke again. Kept alive, McElligott feeding it over. Going to be another attacking error, that time by Bell.
This is one of those scenarios where you just played a very long set. For Loyola Chicago, you don't want to give any grease over to the wheels of Pepperdine.
Well, it's got to be deflating, too, to play it that close and know that you're able to go up 2-0 and then lose in that fashion in the second set. That's going to be a service ace for Hartke.
Just finds himself in and forces the timeout.
Head coach Shane Davis going to call the first timeout. Pepperdine gaining some momentum now. They're up 6-2 in set number 3 on ESPN+. Momentum shift ever since the ending of the second set. Cole Hartke's been at the service line for a while. I'm sure he's getting lonely back there. Skied up, set by McElligott. Hit across by Reed, skies over the Pepperdine defenders, and going to be another point on the attack here.
Well, Chicago wasn't ready for that one, but you were. I saw the hands up, ready to go.
I want to make at least one catch while I'm here. Still have another chance on Saturday, of course. At least want to set one up to you, Luke. Hartke with a nice save. Goes right back to the Pepperdine side, blocked down. Set up by Dyer, smacked across, diving hit backwards on Loyola Chicago's side, and as hard as they fought, another attack error by the Ramblers.
Jonathan Winder took that one right to the nose, and he'll trade a point for it.
Waves are up 6. Klein checking into the game for Loyola Chicago. We'll say Cole Hartke's name at the line once more. McElligott with the setup. Reed hits it over, tries to pin it to the corner, and the aggression not going to work out again.
Just lost a lot of momentum after losing that second set, and Loyola Chicago just have lost some confidence in their offense.
See if your right side theory holds true, Luke. Here's Hartke with another collision on the Ramblers side. Reed's got to get it over. Kept alive by Barnett for Pepperdine now. Here's Hartke. McElligott diving. Still kept alive now on Pepperdine side. Here's Hartke again. Hard hit. Dive by Riley to keep it there. Goes out of bounds, and the Ramblers have gotten off of their dry spell.
They shut down the scoring drought, and important now that they've already used one timeout. This is the moment where you've got to keep going, build a streak of your own. You don't want to have to burn both those early.
Well, look, and I'm wondering, once you see guys fall on the ground, you know it's slick fair. Maybe a strategy to try to hit it in that area?
The Towel Boys pretty good, though, to clean that up.
Towel Boys are sneaky. Kept alive. Reed and Sawa colliding. Gonna be a point for Pepperdine, but more importantly, both look to be okay.
They get up, though. Get the cleanup crew going as well, and there's been a couple collisions here in this set overall for Loyola Chicago.
The hustle points are there, but hasn't translated to many points in set number 3. Pepperdine up 10-3. This is a pivotal set for both squads. Winner will go on to face Long Beach State. Sawa dives, keeps it alive, and nice hit by Van Buren. Swung on off the chest of Van Buren, and Javier with the kill.
Another little bit of a scoring run here, and another timeout forced.
Loyola Chicago calling their final timeout already. They're down 3-11 in this one. We'll be right back on ESPN+. Very loud, both supporting their teams, and Pepperdine has the edge in set 3.
Out of the last 10 points, they've got 9 out of them.
It's not a stat you want to hear if you're Loyola Chicago right now. They came out of the gate swinging, but have cooled down ever since the end of that second set. That one barely clears the net. Knocked down. That time by Klein, but another attack error for Loyola Chicago. That's going to be their 15th.
Loyola Chicago has tried to sub in some of their different guys to find some pace, but that hasn't helped them either.
12-3 now. And there with the righty serve, goes off with Fabakovic, skies into the backward stands.
That's a huge ace. No timeouts left for the Ramblers, excuse me. Pepperdine is just kicking them while they're down.
It's now 4 service aces for Pepperdine, and the first one not coming from Cole Hartke. There with the serve, kept alive. McElligott backward set. Stays up, there's Dyer. Knocks it to Barnett, to the Ramblers' side. Blocked down that time by Barnett, and he's got his name stamped all over this game.
Pepperdine is on a 5-point run. Their second, by the way, of this set. They had a 7-point run earlier.
Luke, you talked about the danger zone being 5 points, and like you mentioned, Pepperdine on a 5-point run alone. We'll see if they try to keep the good times rolling for their side. Hit by Reed, and scoring streak over. Jake Reed gets a kill.
They cut down the run, but they are in a little bit of a interesting position down 10, is actually going to get a little bit of a sideline warning. Loyola Chicago bench was too excited, came onto the court.
Jake Reed with the serve, hard hit. Kept alive though, Barnett with the kill.
This is a nice little duo play, and you just get to watch the ball as it spins. It slows down in the air for a perfect setup and a perfect target towards that back right corner.
The waves have just completely neutralized, it looks like. A lot of these fans for Loyola Chicago, all of them just frozen. It's going to be a service error, and it's exactly what you don't want if you're Pepperdine. You don't want to give the Ramblers opportunities.
You've got a large margin for error, but every single error you make is going to reduce that and give a chance for the MIVA champions to come back.
MIVA champs versus the MPSF champs. Knocked down by Barnett, and met with a loud boom for a kill. When it felt like Pepperdine was dead in the water, they just came roaring back and are well on pace for a 2-1 lead. That goes off of Riley, so there's going to be a point for the Ramblers.
The Ramblers at one point today were hitting above 400. They're now overall in the day hitting at a 191.
They were in the 300s for a lot of that first and second set, too. Here's Ryan McElligott. Tied by Riley, kept alive to Dyer, now to Hartke. Gets over the line. And Buren with a hit, blocked. See if they give a point to, looks like Pepperdine.
Bouncing last off of the Rambler player in Van Buren, it looked like.
So the Waves now up 11. With Ryan Barnett up to serve. Sawa keeps it up, knocked down. Going to be another point after the attack error from Fabakovic.
It's more than 10 now, it's 12. The Ramblers just trying to bring in some subs here to change it up. They'll send in Tyler Howard, a redshirt freshman, to try and bring some juice back.
Switching it up a lot. Let's see if they try to rest some of their guys too for the fourth set, which might decide their season. That's Service error from Barnett.
Pepperdine still leading in overall service errors. That's their 16th of the game today.
Daniel Favikovic, 5 kills today. Hit down, bounced right back over to Pepperdine's side. Hit there and kill for Hartke.
And Jacob Riley, he's a guy that, as your libero, you want to bring energy, but has just provided so much, cheering on the team throughout every single victory, and has used the juice of this crowd to fully energize him here today.
Brendan Reedville to serve. Barely clips the net, awkward angle, and Sawa not able to take advantage of that.
Pulls out the card from the sleeve and just dices one.
20-7 now in favor of the Waves. Reed hits it to the far side. Have to cross that time by Howard. He's going to get the kill.
Off of a hand, and the newest sub, and another little bit of a changeup here. Aiden Klein coming in, still a no libero set. Loyola Chicago does have to be a little bit careful of their overall sub count.
We're going to see a challenge here now, with Pepperdine being the team to challenge that. I believe a deflection?
Yep. Deflection at the net, and kind of rule update as well for those that don't know. Each team gets 15 subs throughout the course of a set. The libero doesn't count towards those sub counts, but you do wonder for Loyola Chicago here, you're willing to try anything.
You may as well. It's kind of a last-ditch effort. Try to throw a life preserver into the ocean. That's exactly what they need here. Down 12 in set 3.
Get a second look at this one. Super slow-mo, and oh, that one flies right past. You're looking specifically at the fingers. They don't bend there, so it is going to be a point for the Waves.
Waves get another point in this third set. Well, it's been an incredible effort here in this 1-1 tie-up. Waves only need 4. Not going to get it there with the service error.
Another mistake, the 17th actually of the game overall, and credit to Loyola Chicago. They have limited from what serves they've had the errors overall.
Dean Meyer back at the line. Low set, smacked back over from Hartke for his 8th kill.
Just again and again, spreading the wealth here. These Pepperdine faithful, there is now 7 different players that have scored a kill for their team.
Having the depth matters. Cole Hartke back to serve. 3 service aces, 4 service errors, also leads the team in digs, tied with 4. Crosses Robbins, and he's gonna get a kill.
Challenging the defense and controlling your own hitting is something that Loyola Chicago is going to need, even if this set is already almost out of the horizon for the rest of the match.
Nice play by the sophomore outside hitter from Phoenix, Arizona. There's Howard with the serve. Goes off of the shoulder that time of Klein. Knocks back, got to get it over. Hits over the wall, and how about that for Robbins?
Robbins is a redshirt sophomore guy from Arizona and just brings in some quick change-ups.
When Loyola Chicago could still win the set, but more importantly, Luke, this does bring some momentum heading into set number 4 regardless. That going off of Hartke. We got a service ace from Howard.
Just some good momentum, and it's good to have some energy here. Cuts the lead to 11.
Ramblers need 14 to win this set. Waves need 3. Howard with the serve. That one going to be an error.
The first error of this set here for Loyola Chicago.
23-11. Hey there with the ball at the line. Gets over, but going to be an error.
Haver jumps up into second in terms of the error category, or I guess third, because there's 2 men tied for first.
Serve from Robbins. Floats over, gonna be an error on the sophomore outside hitter, and we got a set point for Pepperdine.
This is a way to close the set after the last set went 28-26 in your favor after losing the first set. What a huge boost this would be.
Sophomore Aiden Toon in the game to serve. Pepperdine needs 1. Clears it, McElligott serving it up and keeping it alive was Fabakovic with his kill.
Fabakovic, a bright spot here throughout this set. And with another non-libero group here, Loyola Chicago looks to go 11 straight.
Klein back to serve. Set by Dyer. Perfectly up for Barnett. Diving bodies. That's going to end set number 3, though, with the kill from Ryan Barnett.
The streaks. That's what killed Loyola Chicago. A streak of 7, a streak of 5, only separated by a single Loyola Chicago point. And now the MIVA crew, the only team representative of the MIVA, are on their last life.
They really are. They did show some life later in that third set. Pepperdine up 2-1, though, and set number 4 coming up soon on ESPN+. Waves are moving in the direction of Long Beach State, but job's not done yet. Pepperdine up 2-1 over the Ramblers, heading into set number 4.
That last set, Pepperdine led and never trailed. They were only tied at 2 different points throughout the set. The rest of it, they closed it out.
They really held on to a 10-point lead for a lot of that set. We're about to get ready here for set number 4. Ramblers gotta win out if they want to keep their season alive. Battle of champions between number 5 and number 4. We'll see who wins out here in set number 4. It's going to start with Jake Reed serving the ball. Stays alive, set up by Dyer. Swung on by Hartke, kept alive on the Pepperdine side after the block. Ramblers with the swing and going to be a kill for Reed.
Falls inside, huge stuff here, and you know, the winner of this final matchup today gets to be on a date with Long Beach State on Saturday.
Ball skips over the net onto the Waves side. There's Barnett. He goes off of the hands of Fabakovic.
Of course, we've also got our upper bracket already set. UCLA versus Hawaii. That's going to be a good one, too.
MPSF Big West matchup on the top of the bracket. Got Big West on the bottom. We'll see if it's FAMIA or MPSF. That hits off of the head of Barnett. Flies out of bounds afterwards for a Ramblers point.
Early on, chugging away here at the score total and not having to use their timeouts. That's going to be critical for the Ramblers.
2-1. Ramblers up. And Klein stays in the game for Loyola Chicago, and service error on him.
He kind of targeted Jacob Riley there as he laughs that one off, ducks it away, and smart defense. That's what's winning Pepperdine sets right now.
Dyer with the serve. Swung down, blocked by Barnett and Edie.
That was perfectly timed. They go a second earlier. The rest of the front line is there to protect it. They go a second later. The server would have been there to grab it.
Harkey setting up Barnett. Blocked down, so we'll get another chance. Barnett one more time. That one goes over the Ramblers side, so another kill for Barnett.
The defense not exactly keeping that slip angle cover.
Floated up a soft touch by Sawa. Gets blocked down to the back line, but too much power off of a powerful swing. We got 3-4.
This one's starting out a lot more like that set 2 where we needed win by 2 to decide a victor.
McElligott with the hit on the far side. Here's Harkey, keeps it down, and we've seen that a few times now in the corner for the freshman.
And it's another round where it feels like just uncovered that slip angle. It flies in again.
Ryan Barnett knocks it right back over, and they just watched it go out of bounds.
Quickly a 2-round strike back off the ace and just gathering points from everywhere.
Barnett with 14 kills in this contest. Leads the team. That's that one. Nice dig out by Riley. There's Barnett, blocked back. Barnett with the setup. Now Harkey with the swing. And that's going to hit Reed. Another kill for Harkey. Loyola Chicago gonna have to take their first time out of set number 4. The Waves up 7-3. And if they win one more, they will be advancing. Check to see who does after this on ESPN+. Head coach Shane Davis opts to use one of its 2 timeouts in his 4th set rather early. Pepperdine up, though, 7-3. If the Waves win this, they will advance. Service error certainly doesn't help their case, though.
A lot of ices on the service coming through on those timeouts today.
Spotty service in Micavelli. Abakovic with an error of his own.
And the jumping point toward the sky move from the Wave bench.
There's James Edie. Low and in the center. Nice kill to potentially get the Ramblers back on track from Meyer.
And this play just works because of the defensive setup that was executed by Pepperdine. You see a 3-2-1. They target the 1. Bigger number usually wins.
-1 the math on that service error.
Well, Chicago was very limited on the service errors back in that last set. Mind you, they didn't get many points to serve off of, but they limited those mistakes, and they need to do that here again.
They did, and +1 probably would have made a little bit more sense. They're going in Pepperdine's favor, so 9-5 Wave lead and tipped by Riley. That'll get you back on track.
Riley, one of the transfer players from Concordia. It feels like Pepperdine has really gathered a lot of different players from a lot of places around the country.
They certainly have. Parker Van Buren with a serve. Dive from Riley. Set up, swung on by Barnett. Going to go in favor of the Waves.
call it just an inbound play there. Is first to double digits is Pepperdine.
Felt like everyone in this entire arena held their breath to see what the decision was.
Us included.
Feels good to breathe again. Here's the there. Up in the middle, hit back on the near side, bounces right back for another Pepperdine point, and Barnett fired up.
Never locks eyes with the crowd here today as the Waves extend their lead to 5.
Haver with the serve and the kiss of the ball. Smacks it over the net. Hard hit. Battle on the net, now on the Waves side. Haver with the hit, blocked back to him. And then a hard one by Watson for the kill.
4 out of the last 5 points have now gone the Waves' way.
We're going to see Loyola Chicago use their last timeout in set number 4. Their season on the line. Pepperdine leads the Ramblers 12-6. Welcome back to the Cavelli Center. Pepperdine leads Loyola Chicago 12-6 here in this 4th set and are up 2-1 in this match. There on the service line for the Waves. Serve doesn't clear the net, but looks like it ends up doing so. Looks like there might have been a net violation.
They'll grab the point out of the Loyola Chicago timeout, and this is a Pepperdine team that hasn't been in the NCAA tournament since 2022.
Certainly doesn't look like it the way that they're playing right now. So much poise.
Gone out of rotation.
So not a net violation. Doesn't change the score. Pepperdine still up 7. Here's a set from McElligott. Now Reed, blocked. Sent it by McElligott again. Hit down. On the other way, Barnett. Got to get it over. Bounces off of Fabakovic. Still alive. Goes out of bounds, and it's going to be an attack error on the Ramblers.
Right after the timeout, the scoring does not stop. Now a 4-point streak and 6 out of the last 7 for the Waves.
The Waves have been carrying the past 2 sets out of reach of the Ramblers. We'll see how Loyola Chicago responds. Starts with Haver. Dug out by Sawa. No one able to get there. Perfect placement.
Leaves a marker across the court, though, for the effort that was put in from the Haver side.
Look at that double duty. You got the towel and the mop. That's how you know it's tournament time. Got the line judge as well. Ryan Barnett in there. 4-on-1, and that sweat mark didn't stand a chance. Here's the setup. Pepperdine up 7, blocked down. And Loyola Chicago pulls it to within 6.
Good point, Zenny, to shout out our referees, Sergio Gonzalez, Stephen Shepard, Dan Swenson, and David Atkinson for their hard work today.
And a lot of volleyball. That one tipped over. Ramblers not able to get under it. Ryan Barnett with the kill.
Just hoisting this lead and never looking back. The Waves, that last set victory, 25-13, and they look to repeat that same scoreline.
Ryan Barnett with 15 kills leaves both teams. Brendan Reed with the serve. Gonna be an ace.
How about the 2019 Junior Olympic gold medalist brought in for a dagger charge, but a challenge is going to be forced.
It's like we're going to see a challenge here on Loyola Chicago's side.
I want to see if this one was actually an ace. We'll check back on it, and again, only needs to hit just a centimeter of that outside touch line, and that's a good look. The shadow, the ball just lurking right inside there.
See what the decision is. Might take a little longer than we've seen some of these challenges go, at least in this game. 11 have been quick, but looks like we have a decision. Point goes to the Ramblers. And that's a big challenge win there for Loyola Chicago.
Get another look at it here. Again, it was very, very close. I'm surprised they found enough black paint in between that one to overturn it.
It's got to be down to the pixel. Service error, that time by Anderson. And Luke, it seems like every time Loyola Chicago gets one, Pepperdine's been getting two, at least in this set.
They always find a way to just strike back, and a little bit of a warning given there to speed up the substitutions, keep it off the court.
Set, kill by D. Meyer.
That 7'2" wingspan helping him out, eh?
Certainly not a negative in the volleyball sense. The setter Miguel gets to serve. Gonna be an error.
It's not something you can give over. The 17th of the game so far for the Ramblers.
Serve coming up for the leading kill, Blair Barnett. And that one just splits the defense. Nice kill there.
I like that the Ramblers have been more willing to attack that front line this set. They are knowing in the back of their mind that their season is on the line, and they quickly find the defenders out of place.
Van Buren gets his 15th kill today. Set from Dyer on the opposite side. Right back to the waves. Here's Dyer again, giving it off to Hartke. Pumped up, got to get the ball over. Goes to the back line. Set, and Hartke again falling down in the process. Kept up by Meyer. Floated across by Van Buren. Big swat on the ground, somehow still alive. We'll go at it again. There had a big swing and sent right back his way, and how about D. Meyer once more? Another kill for him in this fourth set.
The all MPSF second team member Jacob Riley couldn't quite grab it.
No one wanted to lose that point. So much effort given by both sides after a grueling win on the Ramblers side. And that's going to be a service ace on top of a hard-earned point.
This is the chargeback the Ramblers wanted.
And for the first time in what feels like an eternity, the Waves are going to call a timeout. They lead 17-13 over the Ramblers here on ESPN+. This couldn't be higher right now. Pepperdine using their first timeout against Loyola Chicago after the Ramblers rallied back a little bit. We're going to see the sophomore Daniel Fabakovic serving for the Ramblers. Got some ground to make up. Here's Hartke, bounces back, diving for it. It's McGilligan not going to get there though.
And Fabakovic just kind of sat on the ground there, realizing the point he had given over. I think targeting 28 has been an ideal because, honestly, him and the libero have kind of run over each other a little bit.
Serve for Maiden Toon, that's in the game now. Hit back by Dean Meyer, floating back, diving effort by Fabakovic, sliding. And we're still alive. Hartke knocking it to the opposite side. Set, attack, and not enough downward movement by Van Buren.
It's that patience again. I mean, Pepperdine has been very willing to put up blockers, but they're so disguised about it. They pull the blockers that time and earn themselves a point.
Hard-earned one at that.
Looks like we're going to get a quick challenge from Loyola Chicago. They think that it went off a hand.
We brought it up a few times today in terms of strategy, but it doesn't hurt to get a quick talk over, especially if your season on the line now, no timeouts.
It's a tough position to be in. You know, this is the NCAA tournament. There's no more second chances after this. You're done, and you are done. Get a second look at it here. The shot, multiple hands there, and there's a clear bend back of the hands. This is going to be a Rambler point.
Big point that would be. It'd be within 4, so you still have to make up some ground, but it seems like more and more that Loyola Chicago feels comfortable doing that.
And with this talkover as well, you're still trailing, you're down in set count, but the good news is, I mean, if you go to set 5, it's not as long, it's not as an endurance base, it is a race to 15.
Most certainly is. Point going to Pepperdine, it looks like. That was Loyola Chicago's final challenge. Waves up 6. They need 6 to advance. Served by Toon, knocked down. Gonna be a kill for Meyer.
That's a good response to have. You lose the challenge, you come out swinging, you equal it. But as you mentioned to me, Pepperdine, they're going into these engagements and just stealing points every single time the Ramblers get one.
Feels like 1 step forwards, 2 steps back. Howard in the game for the Ramblers. He has an ace already. That one doesn't clear the net, though. Going to be a service error. Pepperdine up 20-14.
The first to 20. Loyola Chicago with no timeouts left. And Pepperdine, over the course of the season, they're now plus 35 in set margin.
Such an impressive number, too. Also, considering what conference they're in. Hartke doesn't get that one to fall over the net.
Pepperdine now over 20 in terms of the service errors.
Five-point game. Parker Van Buren back to serve. 15 kills, leads Loyola Chicago. Gonna be a service error, though.
Back and forth, the pendulum swings.
Now transitioning into the later game. There's going to be more substitutions now. There on the serve. Set up, smack down, and how about a kill from Klein?
A 6'9" sophomore. You need young guys at a moment like this for Loyola Chicago.
Sophomore Jake Reed at the line. Set up, hit by Barnett. Battle in front of the net on Loyola Chicago's side. Point goes to Pepperdine, though. Attack error.
They've just really played smart. The errors have come through all day long from Loyola Chicago. And now more than ever, this is not a time you want to give them over.
Middle blocker Ethan Watson on the serve. Set up by McGilligan. Hit down and goes off of Watson. Kill courtesy of Babakovic.
Back and forth inside play. This needs to be a run. Pepperdine, by the way, still has their final timeout.
An ideal world, if you're coach Jonathan Winder, you don't want to use it, but it is important to have in your back pocket in case it gets to that point. Set up to Barnett, blocked down on the ground by McElligott.
He's a guy that's had a ton of blocks here today and overall has found his way just in a solid position, cutting the lead to 4.
Dean Meyer was in on that block as well. Sophomore Klein back to serve. That doesn't clear the net. Pepperdine within 2 of winning this match.
Of course, winner of this one gets to go play the #1 seed Long Beach State.
Setter Gabe Dyer knocks it over. Here's a shot from McElligott. Nice kill by Dean Meyer. He's really showing up late.
As much as we talk about having the young guys step up, having a senior like Dean Meyer be able to hit shots like that, it's going to inspire the whole team.
Ramblers down 4. Serve goes up to the near side. Hit, spike down and a block. Hartke's swing not enough for that first line of defense.
And it's just a quick transition play. Gabe Dyer ended up going for that touch and didn't get back in time.
Pepperdine gonna use their last timeout. They only need 2 to advance, but Loyola Chicago howling back. We'll be back after this on ESPN+. 4th set, Pepperdine needs 2 to win, but Loyola Chicago rambling back here late. Sets up Ryan McElligott on the left side for a serve. Bounces off of Riley. Here's a setup. Barnett hits it down and a kill for him. We got a set point for the Waves.
All they need is one. A berth in the semifinal is right in front of them if they can close it out.
No other than Ryan Barnett back of the line to serve. 16 kills for the Waves today. Here's the set. Loyola Chicago needs something, and wave check. Pepperdine advances to the semifinals, taking down Loyola Chicago 3-1, and they will advance to play Long Beach State on Saturday.
3 straight sets. That's what it is for the Waves to win this one here today. Loyola Chicago opened, but it was the win by 2 victory that ultimately pushed the Waves over the line. They will be victorious. They move on, and what a showing from their offense.